Hello, everyone. And I apologize, first of all, for being about a little over 10 minutes late, having some internet connection issues. Hopefully the stream will be solid. But today I want to talk about a really cool mindset topic and a particular shift in way of thinking that I think is one of the most powerful things you can cultivate if you can really nail this and cultivate this way of thinking. And it really makes you sort of unstoppable in your business. It really, crisis proofs you. It keeps you from, losing momentum when things don't go your way. And I'll explain all this in a second. And I do want to say first, though, that this is a slightly maybe controversial topic. It shouldn't be. And you'll see why in a second, why it's like maybe people can misperceive this and see it as something that it's not. But I really do believe that if you develop this mindset, there is literally nothing that can stop you or hold you back from getting where you want to go. And of course, there's other mindset tricks you can do, tricks or whatever shifts that are important too. But this one's really awesome. And this is the concept, right? It's called everything happens for my good. Everything happens for my good. Okay, so I don't want to take credit for this because this is not my phrase. I want to give credit to a one of my mentors, Akbar Sheikh, who's really amazing. And I guess he came up with this phrase, or someone did. But I've heard this in other places, and you probably heard it mentioned in other ways too. Like when life gives you lemons, turn it into lemonade, that kind of stuff. Like any of those concepts. This is not a new concept under the sun, but I think this is a unique new slant on it that's kind of important. So I do want to give credit to Akbar for that. So let me explain what this is and what this isn't. Terrible things in the world or the terrible things that are happening to me. It's not that they're good. It's that, yeah, the situation maybe in the short term temporarily sucks, but how can you turn it into a win over the long term? How can you turn this, this pain into profit, as we'll talk about later, and as Akbar says so eloquently. You see, what happens is a lot of people get stuck in pain mode, right? They get stuck in discouragement. They get stuck in, when something happens that doesn't go their way, they let it really get to them and sort of drag down their whole mood and their emotional state, which kills your momentum, right? That we're big believers in momentum in businesses and keeping momentum going. And we know that on a mindset level, how important that is. So this concept is really, really, really powerful. It's very simple, but it's very powerful. Now, if you find yourself getting stuck into, a little bit of like, woe is me mode, or, man, this really sucks. I can't seem to get myself out of it. It's totally normal, and you're human, right? I was in that place earlier this year when I was dealing with major, sleep issues, sleep challenges with PTSD. So it's not like you should not feel ashamed or embarrassed if you don't have this mindset already in every area of your life, but developing it is very powerful. So let's see. So, and the reason it's powerful is because, especially in business, anyone who tells you that business success is just like this linear thing, or that you just do X thing and you get Y result and it's really simple and it's easy, has never owned a business before, frankly. It doesn't work like that. Success is not a linear path, right? It's like there's a chart of like the entrepreneurial emotions where that I love, where people think it's like, start down here and then you go up here, you woohoo, I'm successful. And it's really like up and down. Like one moment you're on the top of the climax of the mountain and you're like, yeah, I'm unstoppable. And then the next moment you're going, I'm worthless and I should just give up. And this is like terrible. So this type of mindset will really help against those valleys, right? Help protect against those valleys. So let me give you some examples of how to turn pain into profit with a recent story of what's happened to me recently. And how I use this mindset to really benefit from a recent sort of crisis. not a huge crisis, but what happened to me is maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I started experiencing nerve pain in my hands, and uh, and not just my hands, my fingers, my hands, into my feet and toes, and it was really uncomfortable, and it kind of kept me from working effectively, which we're in a really busy state in our business with a lot of projects going on, so it was not good timing for this to show up, right? Um, and the real causes behind it are um, I was just working a lot, and I was working a lot in bad positions. And I've got a chronic neck issue that is from old wrestling injuries and high school and athlete stuff that isn't ideal. But anyway, so I was having this nerve pain, and so I was like, well, this sucks. Like, well, what am I going to do about this? I can't really stop working because I've got a lot of stuff going on, but I can't really work, or this is going to get worse. And what I decided to do is to apply this mindset and really treat it as a wake up call, right? And I didn't really get down for very long at all because I was stewing in this way of thinking, and I'll explain. I've got a daily practice that helps me do this too. I'll explain in a second. But basically, here's what happened next. I decided, okay, I need to treat this like a wake up call. There is some really major stuff that I need to overhaul in order to prevent this nerve pain from getting worse, right? Because what I don't want is I'm 34 years old now, right? What I don't want is to get to the time I'm 50 or 60 and like literally be crippled or something like that, or like have horrible posture issues or horrible neck pain issues. So I was like, this is really a serious thing. I need to deal with it. Again, it's not good that I was having nerve pain, but I wanted to turn it into something good. I want to turn that crisis, that challenge, into something good. So here's what happened. I made some major changes to the way I worked. First thing, changed my seating position and my standing position at my desk, so it's more ergonomic, more natural for my arms and my neck and everything to be in, right? Which, if you work a lot on a computer, that's really important, right? To get that right. And I didn't have good position before that. I didn't have good sort of ergonomic posture. That was the most obvious, simplest thing that I changed. I also started going to a chiropractor. Actually saw two different chiropractors for treatment. And I'm starting to get ongoing help from that, which is something that's, since this is a chronic issue for me, something I've been needing to do for a while. But hey, sometimes it takes a little pain to smack you in the face before you do stuff. I started doing yoga regularly. I went to yoga classes multiple times a week, started learning poses and stretches that would help counteract these positions and help deal with my neck and shoulder issues. So all these things, and the side benefit of yoga too, is that it started helping me become more mindful and present and aware, which carried over into my work stuff too, right? So already I was starting to turn some of this struggle into some wins. Now here's the biggest thing in terms of the work context: how to turn your pain into profit, right? I realized I'm using my hands a lot and doing a lot of typing. So I said, well, what if I could start learning how to use voice to text? And so I basically, I don't do all voice to text now, but I learned how to use Google Docs and how to speak and have all of my, words come out and transcribed good enough. Right. And, the result of that is I'm a lot faster at producing content. I can speak a lot faster than I can type. I think that's true for pretty much everybody. So that's a huge win, because over the long term, speed is everything, right? Speed is everything for momentum in particular. And so being able to produce content and produce ideas at such a faster level is crucial, right? So huge win. I mean, and that wouldn't have happened. I probably would not have done that, the voice to text thing, if I didn't have this nerve pain in my hands. I also started using an app called Otter, which I absolutely adore, which you speak into it and it transcribes all your notes for you. And is just an incredible piece of technology that I've recommended to so many other people, which also makes me faster at documenting my journey as I go. It just has opened up a whole new world of possibilities. So, over the long term, these changes that I've put in place are going to to be profitable changes, right? I turned that pain into profit. Now I don't want to like beat my chest and make me sound like this amazing, ascended being who, like the greatest things in sliced bread, because this is what I was able to do. The reality is, I have a daily practice and I train my mind every day for at least 10 minutes on seeing the good in things, on, gratitude. And I've got a whole practice that I do. It's very simple. And in some other video, I'll explain it, but I've been doing this for years. And so this way of thinking comes relatively easily for me now because I've trained my mind. It's one of those training processes that is tremendously valuable to do. And at some point I'll give the breakdown of how I do that. But right now, I want to give you, kind of close this video out, this training out, with a very simple exercise that's called the 3 gifts exercise, which is something you can use to crisis proof your life and make sure that you always come out on top, no matter what is happening to you. And this exercise is also not my own. It comes from Shirzad Shamin, who is a really awesome, I don't even know what to call him. He's an amazing coach. He's written a book called Positive Intelligence that we love, and we recommend a lot of his assessments to other people. I'll get into that in future videos, but he's created this exercise called the 3 gifts exercise. And what it is that anytime you find yourself going through a big challenge or a big crisis, right, it's a way of shifting your mindset out of that crisis. So here's how it works. When you're dealing with a big challenge, you ask yourself, and I'm going to refer to my notes so I make sure I get this right, the wording of it right. Basically, you want to come up with at least 3 different scenarios where this bad situation could be turned into a gift or an opportunity, right? How can I turn this bad situation into a gift or opportunity? Another way to phrase it, if it's a business challenge, how can I turn this pain, this present pain, into future profit, right? How can I turn this present pain into future profit? Basically saying all the same stuff. Or even simplest, how can I find a way to benefit from this experience, right? Whatever you want to do, like, doesn't matter. But the point of the process is to come up with 3 ways that this is actually a hidden gift or opportunity, this crisis. And you've got to do it, though. You've got to actually sit down and write these out. Doesn't take you very long. But it's very powerful. And there's a really great story in his book, Positive Intelligence, where he talks about using this exercise with a really high-powered executive. And the executive was saying, basically, here's what happened. They lost one of their biggest customers. And overnight, they lost 60% of their revenue in their company, right? So their company was very dependent on this one particular customer. Whatever happened. They went with someone else. I think because they had kind of fallen down in the customer service and then the aspect, I don't know all the details of it. But basically, that's bad. You overnight losing 60% of your revenue to a company that is relatively like medium-sized to large is very difficult to overcome, right? So this executive was in this mindset of a little bit of a victim mindset, like, and he was not having this exercise. He was not interested in seeing the silver lining or the positive at any of this. He was just in that funk that we've all been in before, where it's just like, there's nothing good. There's literally nothing good that can come out of this. We lost over half of our business overnight. But Shirzad Shamin was insistent, and he said, no, you need to do this. So he did it. And I don't remember all 3 of the things from the book, but I remember a couple of them was like, well, maybe this will be a wake-up call, right? For our whole company, that we need to diversify our client base more, because we've kind of assumed this one client was going to stay with us, and that's risky thinking, right? So we could turn this into profit by diversifying our client base, by getting more clients instead of being so dependent on one. And he said, great, that's a good first one. Come up with a second one. Well, we can use this as an opportunity to overhaul or revamp our sales teams. And he said, fantastic, put that down. And then the third thing, I don't exactly remember what it was, but something along the lines of, either working with the sales teams or developing a new product, something like that. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. So this wasn't just like a little simple intellectual exercise that he did once. And he's like, okay, I got them. What they did is they picked one or two of those ideas, and they said, here's what we're going to do moving forward, right? They actually used it as a wake-up call. They used it as a way to turn pain into profits. And the net result of that is that they grew their company massively. I think they decided to diversify and really, work on their sales teams and getting two things: sales teams, and also making sure that they were not falling down on the fulfillment and the client service side of things. The net result of that is they grew their company by leaps and bounds over the next year. They ended up in a so much stronger financial position than they would have if they hadn't lost their customer before, and they turned it into a wonderful gift and an opportunity, right? Now, of course, it wasn't just because they did this exercise, right? They didn't just write 3 things down and it's not like magically it happens, but it was the turning point in them seeing the crisis as an opportunity, right? So I think that's just a really powerful lesson, and it can be applied to things, both big and small. So I want to, close this video by encouraging you to use this 3 gifts exercise to start developing this mindset of looking for the good or looking for the potential good, I should say, and the bad things that are happening to you right now. So you can start to think more solution oriented and start to get yourself back on track anytime a setback or something challenging happens, right? So, if you feel inspired to do this, I would encourage you to just leave a comment below this video if this has resonated with you in any way, saying, here's something that's difficult that I'm going through right now, a challenge, and which we all have. Doesn't matter how successful you are, you've got challenges in your business. That's something I learned a long time ago, that even massively successful companies, they don't have all their what together. Anyways, take this situation and then write, what are 3 ways that I can turn this bad situation into a gift and an opportunity? Get your mind starting to think solution oriented and benefit and profit oriented in these terms, and you'll start to move towards that, and you'll start to really truly crisis proof your life and your business. Because once you start applying this way of thinking to one challenge, you start building that mental muscle, and it becomes a lot easier for the next crisis and the next challenge, which there will be, right? because life happens, right? So yeah, I'm going to just close it out with that. And I hope you found this video valuable and helpful. If you need some extra help developing this mindset, feel free to reach out to me. We've got lots of other exercises and training and stuff like that. Some of it free, some of it inside of our paid programs, but I just like being a resource and being able to help people regardless. So hope you found this video valuable, and we'll talk soon with you, and look forward to more future training videos on topics like this and topics like deleting limiting beliefs and other general mindset types of stuff, deeper dives into the brain and behavior. We've got some really great content planned out for you in the coming weeks and months. And so I'm very excited to share it with you. Thank you all for joining me for this, and I'm going to sign out.